We are a club that's steeped in tradition. We've been around since 1930. We've produced some of the best footballers this country's ever seen.
Out to Devlin. Will he have a go from out there? He will. Oh, what a goal!
It's the energy around the club that makes it special. It gives players an opportunity to come in at such a young age through the Sharks Academy and eventually go right through first grade, playing the highest level possible in the National Premier League.
At the end of 2022, the Sharks under-12s finished their final season in the Junior Academy.
I'm really excited for this group of players coming through. I think it's one of the better groups coming through that we've had in a couple of years.
They're a great bunch of boys. I haven't had many groups more tight-knit over the years than them.
I've never met such a great, I've been coaching for a while. They're a special bunch of kids.
They're going to be really good. I love the way they're playing football.
Before moving into the Youth Premier League, the team will travel to England to play some of the best academies in the world.
So the idea is that the kids go over there, they see what it's like in the home of football, England.
For the kids to play against some of England's best, I think is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
After a 30-hour journey, the boys arrive in a cold and wet Liverpool, home to one of the biggest clubs on the planet. The next day, the boys will face their first big test against former Premier League club Bolton Wanderers.
First and foremost, welcome to Bolton Wanderers Football Club, and welcome to our beautiful English weather. Probably not used to this as much. However, today, how we're going to work this, 5:20, 5:30, where we'll be looking at kicking off at 10 to 6 for your game this evening. It is a full-packed day with us. We hope you enjoy it.
I think both technically and physically the game is much tougher over there.
As they prepare to kick off, the biggest question on the boys' minds is how they'll stack up.
You're going to know you're in a game straight away. Tackle's got to be looking over your shoulder, but that's the game.
Now you're alive up. It's going good.
And he's gone! Yes! Move back! Look at Jesper, well done! Jack, good finish, well done!
While half the team took on Bolton's under-12s, the other half were paired against their under-11s.
Keep pushing the ball around, keep moving for each other. There's a couple of nice plays there where you're trying to hit plays and you're moving off each other.
Keep going!
Thanks, guys.
At full time, the game finished an impressive 2-2 against the 12s and a 9-1 smashing of the 11s.
It was good. It's a good start. Good hit out.
The next day, the boys head to Port Vale, who just won a historic promotion into League One. the game proved a big confidence booster for the boys, who smashed Port Vale 8-1. Just what they needed before they take on one of the biggest clubs in England.
When you got your big clubs who throw millions of dollars and search the globe for the next Messis and Ronaldos, if you can just hold your own, and I think they'll be okay.
When they walk into a club and there's 10 or 15 pitches, there's indoor swimming pools, there's gymnasiums. Football is the be-all and end-all of their lives.
Underestimating their quality, City matched the Sharks' 12s with their 10s and 11s players. Didn't take long for the boys to show them that was a mistake. The match finished with a 5-2 win against the 11s and a 23-2 smashing of the City under-10s. Yet to see a loss, the boys next faced Derby County, who had just been relegated from the Championship to League One under Wayne Rooney. Sharks finished with a 5-3 win over the Derby 12s and a 3-1 win over their under-11s. With 10 games in 12 days, what little spare time the boys had was dedicated to getting to as many Premier League games as possible.
It's Alexander Arnold. It's absolutely wonderful. Pick that out of the back of the net.
So running at Evans and Fass. Curls a shot that only he could dream of.
And Salah has the run, and Mohamed Salah scored, does it? Into the back of the net.
Some were lucky enough to get even closer to their heroes.
No problem.
Next up, the boys faced Accrington Stanley FC, who were promoted to League One a few years earlier.
Great turn, young man.
If you're not picking up a player, you're doing something wrong in this team. You take your player out, you take him out, you win the ball. I don't care.
Ollie, it's
was another great result, with a 10-4 and 5-3 win for the boys. For their 7th game, the boys head north to Lancashire to take on Championship club Preston North End.
Where's your players? Good boys.
Keep it up, boys.
Great ball.
Not like the way that we play back home, where the second player gets the touch before they can put pressure. It's not like that. This is the real way of playing. It's pressure straight away.
Thank you very much. Your boys are so good.
The Sharks continued their unbeaten run with a 5-3 and 7-2 win.
Thank you for having us here. Great game. Good job.
The next day, the boys travel south to take on Crewe Alexandra, home to one of the best academies in the country and the only non-Premier League club in the top 10. They're told to expect a tough game.
These kids, they actually think that they could lose their position in the club if a better player comes. So they're a lot more physical, they're a lot more protective of their position.
The Sharks split into 2 teams to take on Crewe's 11s and 12s players.
Pretty good. Proper football this one. You need to be right jam up into it. If there's no one to be picked up, don't just stand there. Push on.
After 10 minutes, it's 4-0. It's good to see how they react to that, whether they can stay in the fight or not. And I think for our boys, they always stay in the fight. I'm really proud of the way they do that.
It's the first loss of the tour, with the Sharks losing 4-1 against the 12s, but beating their 11s team 8-4.
Alright, go pretend to be happy over there.
Having us watch it go.
Give him clap, guys.
For their 8th game, the Sharks head back to Bolton to take on a Wanderers side keen for revenge on a full-sized pitch. After a hard-fought battle, the game ends in a 3-3 draw. The boys have now played 8 big games in almost as many days, often driving 4 or 5 hours to just get to a game and back.
Some days you're up early, you're out the door, and you're not back till late at night. It's your whole day in the bus, getting to a ground, waiting around, finding where we've got to go. The game finishes at 6 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night. What are we going to do for dinner on the way home? So there's all those little intricacies of the travelling that make it hard for the boys to play football. They're not eating as good as what they should. They're not resting as well as what they should. So that's obviously a challenge.
By the end of the tour, yeah, they were getting a bit weary and the legs were dying a bit, but they still were busting to play, which is what you want them to do. So 14 days straight of football is going to wear anyone down, but for the most part, they're all still full of beans.
For their 9th game, the Sharks head east to South Yorkshire to face Sheffield United, another tough academy and a club only just relegated from the Premier League. The boys were split in half for 2 9-on-9 battles.
Yeah, great ball, Jacko. Good touch, great touch. Good touch again. And go again.
On the weekends, you're playing with 2 at the back, and you're allowed to stay free and whatnot. What I want you to do is totally opposite. Okay?
At full time, it was a mixed result, with a hard-fought 1-0 win and a 4-0 loss. For the final game, the boys head to Wigan Athletic, who had just won the League One title, gaining promotion to the Championship. First, the boys were given an all-access private tour of the stadium. Next, they were invited to Wigan's player testing facility to undergo speed and strength testing. The Sharks' 10th and final game will be against the Wigan 11's and 12's. An extremely strong academy, the boys are expecting another big challenge. While the final match doesn't go the boys' way, it was another great challenge to finish off an epic 2 weeks of football.
We've got Jackie Griner, we got Zach, we got Cooper and Luca in attack, we got Jackson and Chewy putting in the throwies, and Buster doesn't press it once again, singing aye, yippee, yippee, aye, singing aye, yippee, yippee, aye, singing aye, yippee, yippee, aye, yippee, 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 aye. We've got Riley, saving goals. We've got Jesse Noah, Ethan finding holes. We've got Zane with the headers, and Jakey, he's a shredder, and Jackson sending ball, make some more. Singing aye, yippee, yippee, aye. Singing aye, yippee, yippee, aye. Singing aye, yippee, 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 aye. We've got Raffy up the wing. We've got Austin and Lockie cutting in. We've got Whitney chasing strong, and Ollie sends them long. We're the boys from Shire.
You gotta go. It's like a dance-off, so you better go next.
Everyone's watching this 13s group, and we're all excited to see how they're going to progress and how they're going to go. And I think their future's bright. You know, I'm really confident that given them a year or two of learning the bigger field and the pitch, then we've got a solid group of boys coming through, which is great for the club.
Boys, keep working hard. You guys have all got talent. You've showed it on the trip. Everyone in life, every person has a different path. So just because you're not in a state team at 13 or 14 or 15 doesn't mean you're not going to play A-League at 18 or 19, or you're not going to go overseas. Don't get disheartened if you're not, starting every week at the moment either, because you probably just haven't developed. Give it time. You might be carrying injuries or growing pains. Once that settles, when it's your time, but never give up.